Hi everybody, welcome to Across the Pond. This is QJ and this is Dan, and welcome to what we've done in September. What have we done in September? Well, probably not that much.
Yeah, I've really not done much this month because the university started up again and I've been hanging out with friends a lot. So I've been a bit rubbish this month, but I've been fairly on top of things.
Wasting your time socializing.
The thing is, I know, right? It's pretty tragic having friends and stuff. You wouldn't know about that, but you know,
I have a good life. I don't have to talk to people. I have cats.
Other human beings. You just live alone with all your cats, and also, I guess, a husband. But
he's pretty much
whatever.
A cat.
He really is, isn't he? Like
he's just like,
he just
get
has
me
basic
water.
Needs. You give him food, water, video
Let
games.
him outside.
He's fine, you know.
Once a day.
Alright, so this year we're both trying to do some goals. I'm trying to watch 52 movies in 52 weeks. You're trying to do video games and books and some other stuff, whatever.
Some whatever.
You're usually the one who starts it, so what have you done this year, this month?
Well, I actually spent a lot of this month trying to work on costumes I was going to wear to a Renaissance fair next month, but that got canceled. So I wasted a lot of my month doing that. I was in the middle of reading a really, really, really boring book that I really am trying really hard to finish, and I just don't want to, but that'll take a while. Neither of us finished reading Clash of Kings, is that right?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I don't know. I think I'm about 45% of the way through.
Yeah, I'm like 3/4 through.
I've not read, because last month we said we were going to read a Song of Ice and Fire book a month. That kind of dropped off. Like, it's not that I'm not interested, it's just that I haven't had time to actually sit down and read.
Well, because the month before, I read the first one in like the first week of the month because it was so good, and then this month it was like 3 weeks into September, and I was like, oh shoot, I haven't started it yet. So that's where I am with that. It's really good though. I really like it.
Yeah, it's great. It's, you know, some of the best storylines in the series are starting to come through. Like the Greyjoys are showing up.
Yeah.
Brienne of Tarth got introduced, and I love that character.
I like her.
Jono's gone north of the wall. Like,
Jono.
I love the whole north of the wall thing. It's great.
I'm liking
I'm
liking the development of Sansa's character because she was really boring in the first book.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's starting to become more of a fleshed out person and having more interesting thoughts and stories.
Sansa kind of gets better as she goes along, really. She's
growing a lot. Which is funny because you see growth in other characters, like tough characters like Jon and Arya, where they're really tough and gritty, and they're sort of set in those ways, but in certain ways they have to learn how to be like either more humbled or just kind of learn to be different in order to get by with where they are, like the struggles that they're going through. Yeah. And Sansa kind of has the opposite, where she's kind of like set in her like simple thoughts, just like obey everything, do everything in a ladylike way, and that kind of has to change for her to survive what she's going through. So that's cool. I
also really enjoy just like the early King's Landing stuff with all the backstabbing and like Tyrion and Cersei just being at each other's throats constantly and that sort of thing. It's so good.
I still gotta say, George R.R. Martin seems to love the history that he's created for this universe, and it just completely goes over my head. Every time they talk about something that happened 6 generations ago, or this person was in charge of this land, and now they gave it to this person who's got 4 nicknames, and then this happened, this land got raided and destroyed, and I'm like, I don't remember any of these. I have to write all this down. I can't do it. So
I have to make notes.
I'm just gonna
I'm pretty good with that because having seen the show already, it's like I already know. I
imagine I'm gonna like the show quite a bit. I've heard that once it gets into the second book and the second season, things start changing a lot.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of changes happening at the moment, but I think it's still good. Like, they don't leave out a huge amount of important stuff as far as I'm aware, although there are parts that I know have been taken out from the books, like in translation, that I don't know if they're like how good they are.
I've heard that certain things like that are in book 2 like don't even happen until like season 6 or something like that.
Yeah. And one of the plot lines goes way faster in the show than it does in the books, so it kind of like it has to take a season out, basically. Like, there's one plot line, you just don't see any of those characters for a whole season because they went too quickly on it. But the show works.
Yeah.
Like everything in it is adapted well, and it's
I imagine it'll be
functional,
really neat.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
So I also I reread one of my favorite childhood classics. It's called Anne of Green Gables. It's by Lucy Maud Montgomery. And I reread this because that is coming out as a Netflix original series on Thanksgiving. And this
Okay.
yeah, this book series already has like a couple different really old TV series and like cartoons and stuff. There's like a 3.5 hour long movie that I watched so many times when I was a kid, and I watch it when I'm sick. I love it. I love this movie. And
Nice.
the book is really, really charming and really cute. It's kind of meant for like kind of young teenage girls. And it's about like, do you know what it's about at all? Anne of Green Gables?
No, I have no idea. I've never heard of this.
It's about an orphan who, it's like mid 1800s, and she's adopted by this older brother and sister who live in Canada. And it's about her growing up, basically. She starts out like 12 and it goes till she's about 16, which was an adult back then. And it goes through like her school days and the friends she makes and the troubles she goes through with like hating how she looks. And, she talks a lot and talks way too much and uses like this exorbitant language because she loves reading, and everyone tells her that her head is full of fluff and she uses her imagination too much and she romanticizes everything. And everyone's always like, you're crazy and silly and I don't know how we're all going to handle you. And she's just like, I'm trying to be better, but I love using my imagination and playing games.
So you can relate to that character.
I really do. I was exactly like that when I was a kid, and in a lot of ways I still am. But it's about her growing up, and it's really cute, and she gets into all this trouble, and like, you know, there's a boy she hates at school because he made fun of her red hair, and she hates him for years because of that. And it's all this really neat stuff. She's really smart, and it's a really fun story. And so apparently it's a really long book series. Cool. I don't know how many there are. I've never read the second one, but I probably will, because I think the Netflix series will probably go further than the first book. So I'm excited for that. What else did I read? Oh, I got this, what is it? Like, probably like, well, it's the second book in the 6th installment of the Warrior series. So.
Oh, of course. Yeah. That's the cat ones, right?
Yes.
The cat books.
My cat
classic
books.
Cat books.
Yeah. And this one was like fine. It was probably one of the more mediocre ones, but I just have to read them. I can't not read them. I read through it, got more progression in the story of this world, and I'm just sucked into it, and I will be for the rest of my life.
Good. I'm proud of you.
Yep, so that was called Thunder and Shadow, and yeah, whatever. You know, it's about cats in the forest trying to follow a prophecy by their ancestors and hunting and fighting and raising kittens.
When are they going to make a movie series based on this? Because it just sounds so riveting.
Oh my gosh,
like,
never. It would have to be
a Netflix series.
It would have to be a Netflix series at the very least. Oh my gosh, I would watch the crap out of that show.
Of course you would. We'd never see you again. No. Like, they'd release all the episodes at once and just, you'd go on like...
I would like hold Toll Patch in my lap and just be like, watch the kitties with me. I would get so into it. So yeah, those 2 books were rather short, and then I was in the middle of 2 long fantasy novels, one of them being Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I'm just going to call it the Game of Thrones series, even though it's not correct.
Yeah.
I read this like 60-page kids book called Love That Dog, which I actually suggested to you. And I'm not going to tell you too much about it because I'd like for you to read it because I like it when you cry because it's a really sad, sweet book.
Wow. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, it's about this kid in like, I want to say like 4th grade, and they have to like learn how to write and read about poetry in their class, and he's all like, poetry is dumb, I don't like it, it's for girls, it doesn't make any sense, like sometimes they don't rhyme and that's dumb. And then he is like narrating this book kind of in the form of, it's like written in the form of poetry, like different kinds of poems, and each page you can see him like progress, and he starts to sort of understand like certain authors' motives and like why they might be writing and what they might be writing about. And so you see him grow throughout his school year, and it's really, really sweet. And it goes into this whole thing about a dog that he used to have, and it's really heartwarming. And I love this book. And there's a sequel for like the next year he's in school called Hate That Cat. And that one made me cry even more. But
Wow.
So I read this book like 3 times. So I'm only counting it alongside this book of poetry I read by Charles Bukowski. And it's excellent. I love it. It's so truthful and real. Everything he writes. It's not like rhyming poetry. It's like,
Yeah.
you know that kind of stuff where sometimes like one line will just have one word.
Wow. No. I barely read poetry.
Yeah, but you've
And
like,
by barely, I
mean
mean
you've
never.
seen it. I'm sure.
Have I though?
I don't know.
I don't actually believe in poetry. I don't think it exists. I think
I
it's
mean,
a
you
conspiracy
have-
made up by the government.
You have some education. You're in school.
Yeah, but not in poetry.
Yeah, but I mean, you've probably had to take like literature classes as an underclassman.
Nope, never. No, I just only did maths. Sorry. What's literature?
Okay, so
Is that another
you know
lie
how
made up by the
you
government?
know how when you do math, you do it like vertically, where you're
what's
like
math?
2 times 5, and then you put the line, and it's like 11.
I don't know what math is, QJ. What's a math?
You're being really
I
unhelpful
don't
here.
understand the singular. I understand the plural maths because that's what it's called.
Okay, so when you do
what's
mathings,
math?
and you're like 2 times 8 minus it equals 4, and it goes in a line down, and the lines are really short, and that's
Yes.
what this poem looks like. So you can see.
I really like that I've managed to goad you into essentially trying to explain it through
You don't
the
goad
form
me
of
into anything. I
maths.
do what I want. You be quiet, Dan.
I understand
Okay,
poetry. You know that, right?
We're in poetry class because you're dumb, and you're never gonna finish school if you don't learn how to write a poem. So
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Charles Bukowski is very, very depressing, and it's like
Right.
very truthful, honest stuff. And sometimes it's just about like, I don't know, how like sad and empty life can be. But every now and then there will be one
Yeah.
where it's like sometimes the most messed up parts of your life or like the happiest parts of your life. And I read it and I get like,
Yeah.
I get really sad. But at the same time, it like sometimes makes me feel not so lonely because I know that like someone else also feels like that. The first one I read was my favorite, and it's really short. I'm going to read it really fast. And it just goes, there's a place in the heart that will never be filled, a space. And even during the best moments and the greatest times, we will know it more than ever. There's a place in the heart that will never be filled, and we will wait and wait in that space. And I
Wow.
read that and I was
That's
just,
deep.
yeah, I was floored. I was like, that's so real and so depressing and sad. And I definitely feel that way so often, but it also makes me kind of feel better that like someone just wrote about it and was like, hey, this is how it is. And a lot of us feel that way. And it's just, there's no help for it. And that's what it's called. It's called No
Yeah.
Help for That. And so I read that and I ordered one of his collections of poetry and I was just reading it like when I was in the laundromat, and I was like, oh my gosh. Ugh. So, yeah, that's story time.
Story time
Yep.
with QJ. Is that all the books though?
Yeah, those are the books I finished this month.
Yeah. I'm excited to find out what this big boring book that you couldn't finish was.
Oh yeah, we'll get to it.
Is it Wheel of Time by any chance?
Maybe. Why'd you have to ruin the surprise?
I'm psychic. I'm so good. I'm so good.
Yeah, I never talk about that in our group chat or anything. Not like you would know.
Have you? Okay, that might be because I just pulled that completely like out of my arse. Like that was a complete guess. Man,
Yeah,
too good.
I hate this book.
Tell me more. Why do you hate it? I love it when
It's
people talk about
so
stuff they hate.
boring. It's so boring. I don't know why it's so famous. There's like the characters have no depth, no feelings. The journey or whatever they're on is not interesting. The lore in this fantasy world is just not, it doesn't grab me, and I don't care. and like I read it and like nothing interesting is happening except there's a part with some wolves, which I think is kind of cool because they talk to them and like I don't know, it's just so, and there's so many words on every page and I don't want to read them all. It's
wonderful.
Read this, and as I'm reading it, all I'm thinking is I would rather be reading the Sword of Truth series, which is absolutely
or Game of Thrones.
Fantastic. Sword of Truth is the best fantasy series I've ever read. I've read the first book like
okay, that's cool.
Maybe 3 times, and it's like at least 1,000 pages. It's incredible. But yeah, I want to finish this book because I got like halfway through it. Not halfway through it. I read like 200 pages of it and decided, okay, this isn't for me. And then Deg got really butthurt and whiny that I didn't even finish it. He's like, you didn't give it a chance. And I'm like, it's boring. But I'm trying not to hurt the feelings that he says that he doesn't have. So I'm going to finish it just to say that I finished it. And he's probably still going to get mad and say I didn't give it a chance. But he can go eat something. I don't care.
Does he even listen to the show? Is he gonna know that you just told him to go and eat something?
No.
Oh,
I tell him to go eat something all the time because he's always like, I'm hungry, but I'm too lazy to eat, and then he dies.
Good.
Anyway.
And then he comes back is he just like an immortal? He just keeps like regenerating.
Oh gosh, probably.
Man, that's scary.
I don't want to talk about him
as an
anymore.
Immortal being. Okay, so the books, is that it? Is that done?
Yeah, books are done. I finished playing Katamari Damacy this month, and I really liked it.
What a good song.
Sure.
That's the cat. It's the cat. Do you actually not know the Katamari theme?
I mean,
I've never played a Katamari game, and
I don't think I could hum it. I played most of the game with the sound really low, and I like was watching TV while I was playing it. Yeah, I thought that would make you mad because I guess a lot of people really, really love the soundtrack.
I haven't even played that game and I love that soundtrack.
I'm sure I'd like listening to it. That's upsetting. But when I'm playing a game like that I don't have to use my brain very much on, I like to have something else stimulating it. So I was like, I had like Friends on Netflix. Or whatever. What?
I bet Friends is the thing that you get to stimulate your brain.
That's my favorite show. Although Friends it's hard to watch on Netflix.
Asinine though. Why?
What do you mean it's asinine?
Why is it hard to watch on Netflix? What are you talking about?
Because I own all 10 seasons on DVD.
Things on Netflix?
Shush! Because I own all 10 seasons on DVD, and there's a lot of content that wasn't on the TV show and is not on Netflix. Like, there's a lot of extra scenes and extra dialogue. And I've seen them so many times that I have almost every show memorized, every episode memorized. And so I watch Netflix and stuff is like cut out, and I'm like, I get all disoriented.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is pretty depressing. No one told me life was going to be this way, you know?
I didn't realize my life was that sad.
Your job's a joke. You're broke. Your love life's DOA.
No, it's not. Yours is.
Feels like you're always stuck in second gear. Because QJ, it hasn't been your day, your month.
Moving on.
That was.
I scared my cat.
Before we move on, though, who's your favorite friend?
Probably Phoebe.
Wow, tragic. Mine is Monica because she's the best.
Okay. No, wait, Chandler. I love Chandler the best.
Chandler's alright. I can handle the Chandler opinion. Phoebe's trash though.
No, Monica's boring.
Monica's the best.
No, her character's not very consistent.
Yeah, but she's the most attractive of all of the friends. Although arguably Joey. So, you know, I don't watch that show, so my basis is on looks alone.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll cut this bit. What
no, I like it. Katamari Damacy was really fun. It was just challenging enough. Like, it wasn't very challenging, but at the same time, it got really frustrating because the controls were really, like, struggly for me because I kept trying to, like, run around or roll around buildings and cars would run into me and stuff would fly off. And then just people would knock me around and cows would step on me and I'd be really mad because it made all the spatulas and, like, cheeseburgers fly off my Katamari. and was trying to roll up fire hydrants, and then like a dog would get in the way and bark at me, and then I'd fall off a cliff. And I would like fall off the same cliff like 7 times, and I would have to go all the way around and roll up the ramp again, and then I'd fall. And at one point I was yelling so much that Shay woke up and came out and told me not to throw his controllers anymore.
Wow, that was an emotional journey that we just went through together. Like,
and the King of the Cosmos is all like, you're disappointing and stupid, and your cousins are better than you, and we got you presents, but we dropped it, and I'm gonna go on about this nonsense while you get rained on, and then I went and I rolled up a bunch of bananas, and he pops up and he's like, banana, and it made me laugh, but I'm just like, what is your problem? I don't know why he's there.
I think he's
beating me up, and it's sad.
Is possibly the most emotionally distraught anyone has ever been over Katamari
You would be
Damacy.
Emotionally distraught too if your father destroyed the cosmos and then you had to go murder a bunch of people just to make some like rockety stars and constellations and then roll up some rainbows so you could make a moon.
I think you've taken this all very much too personally right here. This is getting too intense for me. Like, it's starting to feel like a therapy session.
It doesn't make any sense. It was really fun, though.
Like, are you going to be okay?
The game was fun because I got to roll around and pick things up. And the most fun one was making the constellation Virgo because I just rolled up a bunch of girls. And, of course, whenever you roll up people, they're like, bah, 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 bah. But there was this one girl I rolled up, and she was like, ah!
Oh, my God, that's peaked the audio. Thanks for that.
I even turned away from my microphone when I did that.
Rip headphone users, like, have fun with your brain aneurysm caused by that scream.
That
like,
happened to me.
About?
I was playing it, and she was just like I had like shoved something through her eyes. She was screaming so loud. I'm like, I'm trying to just throw you in the space. It's not a big deal. Gosh.
It's not a big deal. Just trying to turn you into a star and throw you into space.
Who wouldn't want to be a star?
No biggie. Me?
You're an all-star.
Hey now. Somebody did once tell me that the world was gonna roll me.
Wow, that's appropriate.
That wasn't even intentional.
You didn't even realize you were doing that. On.
This conversation has gone
GG.
Just nowhere. What? Did you play any other video games?
Yes, but I didn't finish them. I'm going to talk about them when I finish them.
Oh, okay.
I thought I had something else to say. Oh, just another thing was that there are some levels of that game that encourages you to like make your Katamari really, really, really big. And then once you make it big, you have to like roll up a bear or a dog for Ursa Major and Canis Major. Yeah. But I would always accidentally roll up a bear immediately. And then they're like, okay, well, I guess you're done. There's your constellation. And I'm like, well, I didn't really even play that level like for more than 8 seconds. Yeah. But it didn't really motivate me to play it again because it was just like, you're done. So if you love that game, obviously you might want to go back and play it more. But because I was just motivated to finish, I was like, well, that level's dead to me, I guess. So that was probably the only problem I had with it other than the controls were frustrating for me. But I think that was more of a me problem. My thumbs got really dirty and callousy playing with the joysticks on the PS2 controller, but it was cool. It was a fun experience. I'd like to play some of the other Katamari games.
That's good.
Your turn.
Wow, that was very... It's my turn. Oh, okay. So, having recently moved in with a bunch of housemates and been being sociable and not having much time, I haven't read much Game of Thrones, but I also haven't watched many movies this month. Near the start of the month, when I first moved in with my new housemates, we decided we were going to watch bad movies. So the first one we went for was we watched SpongeBob SquarePants, Sponge Out of Water. What?
Wait, what?
What have you heard about this film, Kina?
Is that the second SpongeBob movie?
Yeah, it's the CGI one where they go into the real world and they're superheroes.
I haven't heard anything about it. I think I haven't even seen a trailer for it.
I heard that it's terrible, but you know what? You know what it is? It's fine. It's actually pretty good. Like,
I think you've just got a taste for shoddy kid movies, honestly.
No. Because the first
Batman.
the first 3/4 of this film essentially play out like a regular SpongeBob episode. Like it doesn't feel any different, and it's
From what season?
I'd say just as funny from like the good seasons, obviously.
Alright.
Like it has some funny jokes. It has some like it's not like SpongeBob peak like top level SpongeBob, but it's funny. Like it's enjoyable. There are some hysterical jokes in there. Like there are some really good moments. If we get about halfway through, it kind of like slows down a bit and stops being anywhere near as funny, but there are still laughs every now and then. But overall, it's an okay film. Like, it's not terrible, and we were very disappointed by that because we were expecting it to be terrible, but we ended up enjoying it, and we were like, oh, what? So then I watched Shark Boy and Lava Girl, which, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, right? Something I never knew. You know Taylor Lautner?
Yeah, he's Shark Boy.
He's Shark Boy. I didn't know that, so we started watching it because we were like, what's on Netflix? Lol, Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Put that on. I'm like, wait, is that Taylor Lautner? And we had to IMDb it, and it's Taylor Lautner. It's hilarious. But yeah, Shark Boy and Lava Girl's terrible, and I don't really have that much of an opinion on it.
What's the premise, even?
I was very drunk. It's like some kid... I can give you the premise, because I wasn't that drunk at the start of the film. Some kid is like, he's got an imaginary world that he's built in which Shark Boy and Lava Girl exist. Shark Boy is a kid who... He was raised by sharks, I believe. I don't know. I don't remember anything about Lava Girl.
I'm bored already.
But, I know, right? It's terrible. And like something happens to the imaginary world, so he has to go into his imaginary world and like save the day because Mr. Electric is doing things.
So this is about this kid having like severe mental problems and like he can't even control his own imagination.
Much,
he has to like go in and fix it.
And stuff.
So going in and fix it, he's probably like getting brain surgery in real life.
Yeah, he's in a coma. The bully knocked him into a coma. But no, seriously, like, it's really bad. But in the context of getting really drunk, it's a great film. Like, because it's funny and stupid, and it looks dumb, and like all of the special effects are terrible, and like because it was like going for this like Shark Girl and Lava Girl in 3D type thing. So like, there's all of these dumb like 3D effects where things are popping out of the screen, but we weren't watching it in 3D, obviously. So like, we're just sitting there like, lol, that's stupid. So yeah, we haven't since then, and now that I'm living with friends, expect there to be terrible movies, because we're going to do a thing called Film Friday, where every Friday we watch a movie. Shark Boy and Lava Girl was one of those. We also watched Shrek 2, but that doesn't count because I've already seen that, so I'm not going to talk about how good Shrek 2 is.
That's not a terrible movie.
What?
I said that's not a terrible movie.
Okay, I thought you said it was, and I was going to go full, like... rage mode on you. It's interesting because I don't know about the American Netflix, but the UK Netflix doesn't have Shrek 1, but it has Shrek 2. So we're just sitting there like, let's just watch Shrek 2 then. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Excellent film, Shrek 2. If you haven't seen Shrek or Shrek 2, you
watch,
should.
That's going to pop in on
Shrek
your like rankings, 4. Even though it doesn't even count.
Just meaninglessly, it's there. It's number 1. Maybe not. Probably not.
Probably not.
So then, literally yesterday, I sat down and I was like, oh no, we're recording tomorrow. I've barely watched any films. Thankfully, I had 2 suggested films that I was just like, okay, I'm just going to watch these.
Oh yeah, and I haven't looked in the comments yet, so I don't know what's going to be a lie.
Oh, you don't know. You don't know what's a lie. I sat down and watched The Fly, which was suggested to me by Voyager. Good film. Very good film. Like, the characters were well built. There's legitimate tension going through the entire sort of storyline. Like, do you know the concept of The Fly, like the premise?
It's really old, isn't it?
Well, there was a really old one, but the one I watched was the 80s version. I think it got remade, I want to say.
Still pretty old.
Yeah,
I think I saw a piece of it when I was little, and I think my stepdad, like, covered my eyes because it was weird. It sounds... I don't think I know the whole premise, but it sounds like something that someone like came up with and like went to a producer and was like, let's make this movie, and they only like agreed to it because they were like high. And well, and then maybe it turned out well, because you can take a horrible premise and if you have a good writer or something, it'll turn out fine. But
yeah, well, the thing with this movie is the premise does sound dumb, because the premise is dude turns into a fly slowly over the course of the film. But the way that it's built and the way the characters are sort of developed early on, and like it's very well built up and it's very well built into the story. And when he does start turning into a fly, like a fly man, and he's having this like mental breakdown because of it, you're genuinely kind of tense because you're like, oh man, I know this guy, I know his plight, I know why he's done this to himself, and you're kind of very compelled to follow this storyline. And where I thought it was just going to be like a dumb, like 80s sort of horror type thing, it ends up being like actually quite compelling and quite interesting.
Kind of more of like a mental struggle.
Yeah, because he is legitimately going insane because he's turning into a fly. But at first he thinks he's great because like he's stronger, he's faster, he's just better, and then like he starts going all gross and like weird hairs start growing and his face starts going all blotchy, and then
I was wondering if it was like based off Kafka's Metamorphosis, but I just looked it up real fast and it was, I guess, a short story that was first issued in Playboy.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that's a thing.
Yeah, there's a factoid for you. But yeah, it's a great film. It's definitely worth watching, I'd say, if you haven't seen it. Good acting, good development. A lot of the special effects hold up for the 80s. Like they're like the makeup and the prosthetics and stuff are pretty much fine. Like near the end when he's gone like full fly, it's a bit like, you know,
costume.
It's not terrible, but it looks a bit weird because obviously the 80s.
Is he like a giant fly or does he like shrink?
Yeah, like a human-sized fly.
Ew.
Like but it happens real slowly. So like his like teeth and like fingernails and stuff start falling out, and like you see him at various stages
Does
of this.
Spider-Man come in and eat him?
What, just like dislocates his jaw like a snake and just shoves him in like a hole?
Well, no. Don't you know how spiders eat? We wrap them up in a web and he sucks their blood out.
Gross.
No.
That's even creepy. Like if you would, which Spider-Man are we talking? Are we talking like Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man?
Well, no, this would be a different Spider-Man because
Spider-Man.
it's a different production company thing, right? So they'd have to get a new actor.
Weird 80s Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Who was big in the 80s?
George Clooney.
George Clooney as Spider-Man comes in and just kills Jeff Goldblum as the Fly and just
all you need is like a really big straw with a pointy end, and then you just like poke it, and then he's got like
that's so gross because like
smoothie.
Like the Fly is actually becoming a fly. Spider-Man is just a dude.
No, but he's
so
he's got spider webs in his wrists. Like he's part spider. That's why he's got good vision and why he's strong and why he has pokies at the end of his fingers to climb up walls.
Technically only in the Sam Raimi trilogy and a little bit of the comics is it biological spider webs. Normally he develops them and has little web shooter machines. So unless your like weird George Clooney Spider-Man is a biological Spider-Man, then you know that doesn't. Yeah. Also, what were you talking about? Claws? What?
He's got pokies on the end of his fingers to climb up walls. At least Tobey Maguire
makes it sound like they're like grappling hooks. No, he's got like little tiny hairs that you can't see.
Pokies.
I think you'll find pokies are the cactuses in the Super Mario Brothers series, so shut up.
Poke.
And radio silence.
Poke.
How long can you keep this up? Did you just leave? Did you actually just leave?
Can you not hear me? I've been saying...
No, I couldn't for a while.
I've been saying poke like 8 times really quietly.
Oh. I couldn't hear you, so I was just like, I thought you just walked out. Like,
yeah, I got really mad at you making fun of me calling things pokies. Anyway, what else did you watch,
Okay,
Dan?
so the final movie I watched was suggested by Joseph Hunt. I watched it literally this morning. It's a film called The Martian, which you've read the book of, I know that.
Yeah.
If you watched the film as well?
Yes, I watched the film on the plane.
Okay. What a good film. Like, genuinely excellent film. Like, it's so captivating and just keeps you on the edge. The whole time you're just sitting there like, I need to know what happens to this guy.
Like, it was
there are
really
genuine
interesting.
stakes. Like, yeah. Like, I also, the character, like, Matt Damon's character is so compelling, like, because you actually care about him as a human being because he feels like a real person.
Yeah.
Like, when he's just like, he's talking about how he's like, if you've planted crops on a planet, you've colonized it, and he's just like, yeah, take that, Neil Armstrong. And then when he's just like, I'm gonna beat the crap out of Mars or something, like right at the start, and where he starts like believing that he can survive, and he's just got this like genuine entertaining optimism to him that just it's just compelling to watch. Like him as a character is great.
The music
then,
in
like,
that movie works really, really well, especially seeing as he doesn't talk for a lot of it and he's just working a lot. And some of it's like really motivating and like uplifting, and you're like, yeah, he's gonna get through it. And then every little development that he has that breaks down, like all his like potatoes caught on fire or something. I don't totally remember what happened. And then the music's all like doom, and you're like, no. And I like that they have
it's pretty great.
Like what's going on Mars and what's going on Earth, because the book was written in like an epistolary style where he was like, you know, just talking in his log, but then it would go back to Earth. And it would just be a narration in third person.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and
that's neat.
Shoot, there was something you said that reminded me of something I wanted to say. I can't remember. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I'll just cut that part out.
Cut that part. It's fine. I really like the casting as well. Like people kept showing up. Like Donald Glover shows up as like the guy who proposes the like the idea of how to get him back, and I'm like, oh, it's Donald Glover. I love that guy. And like Kristen Wiig in a serious role is interesting to watch. Like, because I've only seen her in comedies, and it's like, oh, that's cool. That
was neat.
Like Sean Bean shows up and doesn't die, which is like, wait a second, Sean Bean, what's this about? What are you doing? It's a great cast, great, well-made film, visually stunning. Like, I don't know if this is just because normally I get movies in 720p, not 1080, because it's just easier that way.
Numbers.
But I could only find this in 1080p, so I was watching it in that, and it just is visually stunning. Like every like landscape looks great. All of the like cinematography is excellent. It just
it's beautiful.
It blew my mind like how good this film looks.
And it holds up really well with the book. Like I would say the movie's probably like just as good, if not like the book is just a tiny bit better because you get a few more details. And a lot of the details are mostly like extremely scientific. Like when he talks about making water by burning hydrogen, if that's the correct thing. He like goes into like the exact chemical like formula of it. And for some reason it's interesting to read because he'll go on like that for a whole paragraph and then be like, and then I blew myself up.
I love that scene where he blows himself up. This is great. But yeah, it's a genuinely great film. And Joseph Hunt back at it again, once again, with the glorious suggestions. Like, this guy's not failed me once so far. He's the king. He's just the best at suggesting films. No pressure or anything. Don't screw up this month. He also said I should watch Interstellar, but I was like, nah, I'll pass. I'll pass on that.
Yeah. I have a friend that's talked about Interstellar, and I can't remember if he said it was great or not. I think he said it was decent.
Yeah.
But that's free on Amazon Prime, which I just realized yesterday that you can stream certain videos on Amazon Prime for free. I didn't know that.
Right.
So there's
that's cool
stuff.
He suggested it as a film because last month I think I said like suggest to me bad films just to see if you can beat Batman vs Superman, I believe I said. And that was what he put forward. If you want to waste next month's suggestion on that, then I guess you can, but
wow, you even watched the second SpongeBob film and it probably didn't beat Batman vs Superman.
No, the second SpongeBob film is legitimately fine. Speaking of, I just talked about 4 movies. I only watched 3 movies this month.
Oh, really?
Which one do you think was a lie?
Okay.
Yeah, I know, I do it every month. I don't know why it's a surprise to you, really.
No, I thought you watched 4 and you were going to talk about a 5th, so I was expecting more.
Oh, no, this is it now. I watched The Martian this morning.
Okay, The Martian,
I've been terrible this month.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and...
Yep. The Fly.
The Fly. Shark Boy and Lava Girl was the lie.
Ah, you got me. Yeah, you got me.
You almost tricked me because you talked about being drunk, and I know you got drunk a lot this week because that's what you do when you're around people.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
I was gonna make like a Lava Girl like vomiting joke, but I thought that would be too far. Oops, I made it.
Oops, now you've done it. Now you've come and done it. Everyone's gonna unsubscribe, dislike, come to your house, burn it down.
Oh wow.
It's gonna suck for you. Yeah, life's hard. I reckon this is going to be a short episode though because that's
Life
it now.
is hard.
You've won.
I didn't know it was going to be this way.
I pretty much realized 20 minutes before we started recording, I was like, oh crap, I haven't thought of a movie to lie about. And I went down, I was like, okay, housemates, give me a film that I haven't seen one of my housemates, the first suggestion I was going to go with was Kubo and the Two Strings, but I want to watch that film, so I was like, I don't want to spoil the plot, like, by looking it up.
Oh, that's that new movie coming out, isn't it? That's, like, strange, two-dimensional animation.
Yeah. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks neat.
And I
hope the story is good because the animation is refreshing.
Yeah. I think it's out here, so I think we're going to... Next month I might talk about it. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all my movies. You had one more thing that we were going to talk about for a little bit, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Part of the reason
like
I didn't
show?
get that much done this month was I already talked about spending a lot of time making costumes, and that didn't work out. But Shay and I have been watching BoJack Horseman, which is really great. It's a
so
really good show, and he almost never likes like movies or TV. I mean, he does, but like he'll rarely actually want to sit down and spend time watching them in his spare time.
Yeah.
And so there's finally a show that we can watch together. So I've been doing that a lot.
Yeah. How far are you, by the way?
We're just in the beginning of season 2.
Okay, cool. So you've seen... There's 3 seasons now, right?
Oh, shoot. I don't know. I thought season 3 hasn't come out yet.
I think season 3 was the recent one, because I remember watching it. Yeah, no, I think season 3 is the recent one. Because...
I'm trying to, like, see if I can explain where we are.
Season 1 is them writing the book. Season 2 is them making the film he got cast in,
they're filming
right?
Secretariat.
Yeah, in that case, because season 3 is after that's filmed, basically. So yeah,
Okay.
there's 3 seasons now. I love that show. Like it's
not what I was expecting.
Beautifully depressing.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to describe it. Because at first it started out so cartoony, and you're like, okay, that's fine because it's a cartoon. Yeah. And I thought the concept was interesting. The concept being that you have animals and humans all living as humans, and there's all these animal jokes. Like there'll be a rooster jogging out in the morning, being like, "Wake up, everyone!" And like at one point there's a funeral, and there's like a vulture circling the coffin. And I love that stuff.
Is it season 1 that has Neil McBeal, the Navy SEAL?
Yes.
Is that season 1? Yep.
My favorite...
Like there's some really good dumb jokes in that show.
Yeah. A lot of them are really visual, too, so you can't watch it passively. Yeah. My favorite animal joke that's made me laugh recently was when they were at a bar, and there was a swordfish, or a marlin, passing out drinks, and his name tag says Brando, and he's just like, Stella! And I'm like, wow, they really couldn't think of any other Marlin joke, so they just taped Brando to his shirt and made a Streetcar Named Desire joke. That was brilliant.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, like, so much of, like, the background as well, like, shops will have great, like pun names and things, and I really appreciate that sort of detail going into the animation.
Yeah, like, there was a bar
like, that whole
called
show is so good.
Called The Watering Hole, and there were water buffalo standing around outside of it.
But
so, that's goofy and really funny. And then, like, midway through season 1, it gets really real. And I'm like, oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I know characters that or I know people that are as depressed as these characters and that are going through these same, like, difficult things. And, gosh.
Yeah.
There are a lot of moments that... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, it's interesting because it's such an abstract thing because it's Hollywood and it's, like, all of these things, but like the actual emotions and feelings of like how BoJack just wants people to care about him and he just wants people to like him, but he doesn't know how to make that happen. That is really relatable just on a human level.
Yeah.
And it gets so deep and it's so like involving like psychologically, and you're just like, oh no, this like because I marathoned all of season 1 like in one night, and when it finished, I just sat there for like 10 minutes or something, just silently thinking like, I don't know what to do now. Like,
it's rough.
Such a good show. Yeah.
And it has a little bit of like the Office quirkiness to it, where like they'll throw some jokes in after a really sad scene, like when he was visiting like his old friend who was dying of cancer, and he's all like, "No, I'm never forgiving you. Like, I'm gonna die, and you're never gonna be forgiven, and now get out of my house." And, like, it's silent. And then BoJack just comes in, and he's like, "Is the gay thing related to the rectal cancer?" And he's just like, "Get out!"
Yeah, what a good show. Like, genuinely amazing. Like, Netflix, I don't think I've watched one Netflix original series that I haven't enjoyed. Like, I haven't watched all of them, but like, and I need to watch Stranger Things at some point because
Yeah, me too.
apparently it's amazing.
Yeah, maybe you and I will talk about that next month because Tim really wants me to watch that, and I said I would, and I have not yet. And he's gonna watch it Across the Pond and realize that I haven't watched it yet.
Ah, sad. If I'm gonna watch any Netflix original though this month, it's gonna be Luke Cage because that comes out this month and it's gonna be amazing. Like, because all of the Marvel Netflix like the series have been just the best so far. So I'm like, yes, this is gonna be so good. Yeah, I don't think I have anything left to talk about. Don't know about you.
Should talk about our feelings.
Oh yeah, didn't we already do that though?
What?
Didn't we already do that earlier in the show when we were? You already did that whole therapy session about Katamari, like about how emotional it made you.
Now I'm sad again.
You're gonna go cry, and just think about ball rolling.
Yeah. Espion's a ball. She curls into a ball. I'm gonna roll her around.
I think this is going to be a short episode, which is weird because I think we've been going over way too much recently. Like, we've been going up to like hour 10 minutes, so I think it's pretty good for us to have.
So I'm sure your audio is coming out fine, but the last 12 seconds of your speech was literally robotic to me. That's how choppy it's coming out.
Oh, Discord.
Like, all I heard was
disconnected. Discord, why? Discord, why?
So that was interesting.
DJ just dropped the call, I think.
And now I can't hear you at all. Are you gone?
Hello?
Now you disappeared and yet I'm still on the call. You're not even online. Dan's internet seems to have cut out, so I'm just going to do this outro all on my own and see how this turns out. Thank you everyone for listening. This has been Across the Pond with Dan and, mostly Dan. Let me start that again. This has been Across the Pond with QJ and sometimes with Dan. We'll see if we ever get him back. Hopefully see you guys next month. Have a great day.
Meanwhile.
Hello? Did I drop or did she drop? Oh no, I think the internet's gone. Okay, if I can't get back with if I can't talk to QJ anymore, I'm just going to record an outro. Thank you very much for listening to Across the Pond. We'll join us next month where hopefully my internet will be not as shady as it is right now. We've had connection issues recently, and I was really hoping it would stay, good for about an hour, but unfortunately it hasn't. So QJ can't be with us for this outro, unless, of course, she can't. If you're hearing this, then probably, I didn't get it sorted. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, do all that garbage. Leave me a suggestion for films that you would like me to see in the comments. I'll probably watch them, and by probably I mean I will, because that's how I roll. Man, this internet connection has taken a while to come back. Thanks for ruining everything, internet.